the public shower, accessible public shower, is not even properly accessible, which makes me think that MSC just doesn't give a shit about people with disabilities. I'll take you for a tour and show you everything around the boat. If you're a wheelchair user and you want to go and enjoy the pool, well, you can't.
So for today's topic, we have an update in regards to the wheelchair-bound disgruntled cruise ship passenger by the name of Shane. He's made a couple more video uploads, so I will be commentating on them, not only as a former crew member that has worked for multiple cruise lines, but also as a cruise connoisseur, if you will, that takes anywhere between 20 to 30 cruises around the world per year. However, before we get into the new video clips and updates, I do want to give all of you a little bit of backstory for those of you that didn't watch the first installment. However, I do suggest you do before you watch this specific video. Shane decided to go on an MSC cruise over in Europe, I believe Marseille, France to be specific, and right out of the gate during the embarkation or boarding process, he wasn't too happy. He believed it was a little disorganized, a little discombobulated. However, I would state in my previous video that if you take a cruise over in Europe, for example, some but not all embarkation processes in ports and terminals are not as streamlined, if you will, like you would see in the United States. However, once he boarded the MSC cruise ship, he'd be taken to his stateroom or cabin, and he'd be shocked and displeased to find that he was not in an accessibility or disabled cabin, but a regular passenger cabin. He would then go down to customer service. From there, he would be displeased once again to find out that there were no accessibility cabins on board whatsoever, as they were all sold out. He was so upset, in fact, that he was contemplating disembarking the ship early and terminating his cruise, which, by the way, you can do that if you didn't know over in Europe. You could take a 1-day cruise, 2-day cruise, 3-day cruise, 7-day cruise, because they don't have the same rules and regulations like the PVSA like we have in the United States, where if you get on a cruise, you have to stay on for the entirety unless there is an extreme event like an emergency. Nevertheless, we're going to watch these video clips. I will be commentating on them. Of course, if you guys want to check out Shane's YouTube channel and TikTok, please do and go support him. It's called Wheel Around the World. And during this video, if you find any value or enjoyment or entertainment out of it, of course, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. That way you get updated whenever I post new videos.
I woke up after my first night sleeping on the boat. It was an interesting ride. I'm 6 foot tall, and this bed is made for someone that's 5 foot. Rough sleep, to say the
Perfect
least.
for me.
I'm going to put on my gym clothes and sweat it out. And hopefully that puts me in a better mood. Hopefully today's going to be a good day. One thing I found quite challenging so far on this boat is, number one, it's full, it's capacity. So when I went out yesterday, there's just so many people around everywhere, screaming, kids everywhere. So hopefully leaving my room at 6:15 in the morning means there's less people, so that I get to actually enjoy the boat for a bit.
Yeah, MSC is very family oriented. It's also a European line as well. Ooh, gym's nice. MSC has one of the nicest gyms. I think maybe it's only first or second to Virgin, in my opinion.
I just finished my workout from the gym, and it was a pretty good gym, and I enjoyed the workout, but it was interesting though, because they've got matting that's underneath the benches, and it looks like someone just went to the hardware store and bought the cheapest,
It's a little nitpicky.
matting that they could and slapped it down there. And I even saw bolts that are coming off windows. So for a boat that's supposed to be spanking brand new and this luxurious experience, when you look a little bit closer, it definitely doesn't look as luxurious. The boat's also really worn out in the carpet in the main areas. It's pretty gross, it stinks. And the other thing is that just outside my room is the smoking area for staff. So every time I come in and out of my room, it stinks of cigarettes. Coming in before, it just made me want to vomit.
So quickly, before we continue, a couple things that he mentioned. The MSC cruise ship is absolutely packed with families and little rascals running around. That is normal. Like I said, MSC is without a doubt a family line. And if you sail on an MSC cruise ship over in Southern Europe specifically, they are #1 in that area. And they've got all the deals for the kids and families. The kids sail free, and there's all types of perks and benefits. As far as the gym, like I said, it's a little nitpicky. Yes, the fact that there's a screw kind of just laying around, but it's a ship and there's things getting replaced and fixed and all that jazz. nevertheless, on the point that he said that it's supposed to be a luxury cruise ship, when it comes to MSC, yes, with all the silver and gold and all the stuff that's on the ships, it does kind of give off, in a way, either to some people luxury, or it's kind of like a cheap version or an illusion of luxury. The only thing I would see as maybe luxurious with MSC is definitely the yacht club. Everything in between, as far as maybe their older ships or maybe the ships that are a year or two old, I don't see the luxury side of things, but it is without a doubt, as far as the ship is beautiful, it is still a nice cruise line. That's why it is one of the largest and one of the best in the world.
So imagine being stuck on a boat for 8 days, having your room smelling like cigarettes because the staff are smoking just outside your door. Go on a cruise, they said. It would be fun, they said.
I understand, I do though.
I have found the solution to my inaccessible bathroom situation. It's not the most ideal solution. In the gym, they've got a change room and they've actually got a roll-in accessible shower.
Okay.
Wish me luck.
So he's got to go to the gym to shower every day?
Even the public wheelchair accessible shower is not even accessible. The soap dispenser is all the way up there. Even the shower head's all the way up there. I feel like everything around here is breaking down. Even the hairdryer is held together with sticky tape. And even the shower chair, it's here, but the shower's over here, and the handrail is over here.
Ooh.
So even the public shower, accessible public shower, is not even properly accessible, which makes me think that MSC just doesn't give a shit about people with disabilities. Do you think MSC gives a shit about people with disabilities?
Before we continue, obviously Shane decided to stay on board this MSC cruise ship. Let's focus on the main point here. He doesn't believe that MSC cares about people with disabilities. I do want to somewhat debunk that, at least the theory that I have around that. Like I said, MSC is a European line, and every line is naturally trying to work out the kinks. Over in Europe, I would argue most of Europe isn't exactly 100% accessibility friendly. If you go to, like I said, my previous video, like Venice or parts of France, there's stairs everywhere, and there's not much you can do about it when you want to go to a venue or a store or anything for that matter. All I'm saying is when it comes to the standards, or should I say lack thereof, the people over in Europe may be somewhat used to not having 100% accessibility whenever they go somewhere. Either way, that's not too much of an excuse, for MSC is a cruise line, a business that is supposed to be catering to everybody. So hopefully with Shane's video, they can make improvements. Obviously, this is not exactly an ideal situation for our buddy Shane. I can't imagine how infuriating that is. Keep in mind, his cabin is in the very front part of the ship. He has to take the long journey and go down multiple decks in the elevator just to go shower. And even the shower, according to him, isn't exactly up to standard. I did mention in his last video that I posted about this topic that he mentioned that he booked his cruise 2 weeks early. That's a little too close to call, in my opinion, very, very last minute. And his travel agent, it does appear that she booked him in something called a guarantee cabin, which is supposed to be a little bit cheaper than a standard cabin. However, you are not going to usually get the exact type of room that you want. He needed an accessibility cabin and he didn't get it. Now, I do believe this is the fault of the travel agent if this is exactly how this went down, which is why I would suggest to all of you, especially if you have some needs that need to be met for your cruise, one, book as early as possible, and two, make sure your travel agent is as reputable as possible. As many of you know, I myself am a travel agent. My colleagues are some of the most experienced travel agents out there. If you happen to need to book a cruise, especially if you have specific needs, we can book a cruise for you over at Lux Rally, and we will make sure you have the vacation of a lifetime. Make sure you check us out. The link will be in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comments, and make sure you hurry up. Do keep in mind we have Cyber Monday tomorrow, as well as Travel Tuesday.
It's time to actually have some fun and try to enjoy this cruise. The boat has docked now in Barcelona, and I've decided that I'm not going to get off the boat. Everyone's going out and exploring for the day, which means I can go and enjoy the pool and everything the boat has to offer without crowds of people. And I'll take
He's been doing his research.
Show you everything around the boat. Let's go check it out.
I like how he says boat. I think he's from Australia. The boat.
There's a huge buffet.
I love it.
It's enormous. It literally takes up the entire level. And they've got lots of food there, from desserts, salads. They've even got vegetarian food, seafood, pizza, pasta, any food that you can think of, they've got. Even
Not a bad spread.
Day, the buffet area is still crazy busy. I got myself a piece of vegetarian pizza and some chicken.
He's better than me. I wouldn't do that. I'd be eating all the unhealthy food, especially the pizza. MSC's pizza is number one. I don't care what anybody says. It's delicious.
At the buffet area, there's also these wash stations. There's quite a few of them everywhere. None of them are accessible. They're all really, really high, and there's nowhere to actually wheel under. You would think they'd have at least one here for wheelchair users, but
I agree.
none. And now we're here to check out deck number 16. I love this room. It feels like I'm back in Tokyo. Look what I found. I found the bowling alley. But sadly, there's steps to get in, so they don't want people with disabilities and wheelchair users to go bowling. I mean, look, it makes sense. If you've seen me with a bowling ball, you wouldn't want me to bowl here either. There's also a running track that goes all the way around this deck, so for those that can run, you can run around, but also really great for wheelchair users, because if you want to get your pushes in, it's great exercise.
I want to know what ship he's on.
I've arrived on deck 18. Let's go check out the Sky Lounge. Now this is my favorite lounge. It's adults only, and it is beautiful. It's the only space in the boat where it's literally pretty much almost empty. And just next to the kids' play section is my favorite section of the entire cruise ship so far.
What's that?
It's the nightclub.
Hey.
It's the dance floor. I'll definitely be hitting this dance floor one night. Something
Oh, he's a party animal.
about me is I used to be a DJ when I grew up. DJ Shane in the house.
He looks like a DJ, he really does.
And behind me is Attic Bar. And the problem with the bars around on the cruise is they're all fixed stools. So no drinking at the bar for you.
The arcade situation definitely does suck. I would imagine for bowling, especially with the lack of wheelchair accessibility areas. Maybe they could, I don't know, pick him up and put him over to where the bowling ball is. I don't know if that'd be considered disrespectful or not. I do apologize if I am. However, let this man have some fun. I always say that we are all, as adults, children pretending to be adults. I truly, truly believe that. As far as the bar, by the way, yes, it is a little bit of a bummer. There are chairs that are basically just kind of stuck in position, but on most cruise ships, there's usually a side area. Typically, it's where the bartenders that are going and delivering the drinks are coming to pick them up. Usually, from what I have seen, people that are in a wheelchair or have some type of disability, they will typically go over there. It's on the corner most of the time. That's where they can get their drinks. Hopefully, he finds that helpful.
I'm now on my way to deck 19, which is actually the highest level that I can go with these current lifts. I've just done a full lap around the pool, and there is no wheelchair access or ramp access into the pool whatsoever.
Pool deck.
There's a huge ledge. It's about half a metre high that goes all the way around the pool. Each of the entry points has about 4 stairs to get up and 3 stairs to get down. So if you're a wheelchair user and you want to go and enjoy the pool, well, you can't. Unless you can walk over steps, you're not going in there. You would think that there'd be plenty of space to put a ramp in, but no ramp. One more pool left that I haven't checked out, and I'm crossing my fingers that this one's accessible.
I thought a lot of cruise ships had them.
Access or a ramp.
Like the elevator that can...
Bong bong, steps everywhere.
Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
What's a shock and also very disappointing is that none of the pools, none of the spas, none of them are accessible here on this boat. You would think that at least one of them would have a ramp or non-step free access, but none of them at all. And what's also really crazy is that this is a new boat. And how is it that they're building cruise ships for thousands of people, having that 20% of the population has disabilities? I feel like the cruise industry might need a little bit of a shake-up.
So obviously, I can't personally imagine being in such a disappointing position. He has no choice in the fact that he is bound by a wheelchair. However, I will say, I guess, opposing his point that the cruise ship needs, or the cruise industry rather, needs a shakeup, maybe in some places, but I would always argue that every single cruise line out there does something better than the other. For example, I would imagine a Holland America, or maybe even a Princess, that typically does cater to a little bit more of an older demographic, if you will, as opposed to like a family, like you would see with MSC, with Royal Caribbean, with Carnival Cruise Lines. Maybe he would be better suited on any of those other lines, but I would say one cruise line doesn't exactly represent the standard, if you will, for the entire industry. I swear I have seen on cruise ships maybe they've had like the lifts or the elevators or some type of way for somebody that is bound by a wheelchair or has accessibility issues to be able to get in the pool. But either way, like I said, it is very disappointing for Shane. I do hope that he is able to find a little bit more enjoyment out of the cruise, especially considering it is his first one. But that is the second installment. I believe he is posting another video. I will be, of course, commentating on that for a final installment. But of course, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. If you want to book a cruise, once again, make sure you check us out over at Lux Rally. We have tons of deals going on for, of course, right now and as we sail into 2025. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.